Welcome back. It's been a couple months since I have posted, but anyways, over the past couple months I have collected just a few more vinyls that I have added to my collection, and in that time period I've had a birthday and yesterday was Christmas, so you could say the collection has expanded a bit. So yeah, let's just get into this. Is a terrible spot. It's fine. But starting off with The Rest. This is boygenius's most recent release. It's really great. It's very emotional. That's nothing new. I would say, as a listener, from a listener's point of view, as someone who technically knows nothing about music, just from what I hear from my ears, I would say this is a little bit more raw. Mainly, I'd say vocal focused, like taking Not Strong Enough and Powers. I think those are really two great examples of what I'm trying to portray and of the differences. I don't know. I'm not here to talk technicality. But yeah, my favorite track from this is definitely Powers. The lyrics are fantastic and Julian's vocals are just great. So next, to continue down the path of emotional unwellness, we have Jeff Buckley's Grace. Now, this album is getting so popular recently, and for good reason. It's like if Mazzy Star was a dude, basically. It's phenomenal. It's so artistic. Like, it's such an artistic album. When I first listened to Jeff Buckley, I was definitely on the fringes of like, his voice is annoying, his voice is amazing, and finally I kind of just, oh my god, it's so good, so good. If you haven't listened, definitely should. But my favorite tracks, they're all great, but I tend to fall back on Lilac Wine or the classic Lover, You Should Have Come Over. It's all good. So next, we're kind of switching up genres a little bit. I found this record in a old used bookstore. We have Van Halen's 1984. This is a classic album. It has a lot of great songs. You know, we have the classic Jump, we have Panama, we have Hot for Teacher, we have other songs too, but this is definitely a fun feeling album. Great classic 80s rock. It's like a notch up from Motley Crue. These next two albums, I actually had to laugh because I purchased them together at the same record store. And that is, I have Talking Heads' Little Creatures. This album is very fun, and just to give a brief explanation of why that is, the first track on this album is about a lady having an acid trip in a field, and then the last track on the album is called Road to Nowhere, and it's basically like, we're all gonna die in the end. That's why I love this album, because it's just like, it progressively gets funkier, it progressively gets sadder, but it remains upbeat the entire album. Next album, we have Slipknot's Self-Titled. I feel like the beginning, like right when they were growing in popularity and like getting big, I feel like that was their prime. Like that was before they became, you know, one of the biggest metal bands in the world, and they still had some of their, how do I want to say this? They were still pretty humble, I feel, and they were still pretty just disgusting, and I love it. And all their other songs that I listen to off of different albums are good, but none of them are as like grungy and disgusting and like hard as the songs on these albums. All the, diehard Slipknot fans can come, raid my house if they want to, but I stand by what I say. I stand by what I said. And favorite track, I like Sick, and obviously spit it out. It's a good album. It's tough, and that's why I like it. The next album, we have Lateralus by Tool. One of my favorite albums of all time by one of my favorite bands of all time. Amazing album. It is a story of just being a human, and it's amazing. It's so introspective, if you want to say that, and so like existential. It's great. And this album was a big purchase because the discs actually have the art on them, which is so cool. I actually haven't spun this yet because it's so pretty. So pretty. Alex Grey really outdid himself this time. Yeah, favorite tracks from this album, either the Parabola duo or The Patient. Really great. Moving forward, these are 2 purchases that I recently made. First is, I'm just gonna fly through this one, Out of Step by Minor Threat. I haven't listened to this one yet. I bought it because it was cheap and because I knew that I wanted to listen to more Minor Threat. I haven't really given them the time of day, and I knew that if I bought one of their albums that I would eventually come around to listening to it. So I don't have anything to say about this album because I haven't listened to it yet, but it was just a purchase that I recently made, so I thought I'd share it. And then also Moving Pictures by Rush, which is also, like Lateralus, one of my all-time favorite albums ever. This is a used copy. It's pretty beat up, but got a pretty good on it. Well, I wouldn't say I got a pretty good deal. I don't know. What do I know? But yeah, fantastic album, great band, classic stuff. My favorite track is probably Red Barchetta, or Barchetta. Is it Barchetta or Barchetta? I don't know, but it's very nostalgic. It just is. Next, from my best friend, I received the Call Me By Your Name soundtrack. This soundtrack is lengthy, let me say. I'm pretty sure there's 2 discs, but it is such a beautiful, it's so glossy, but it is so pretty. And it is it's not one that I'll be spinning a lot because it's so sad. But it is like, it's like a collector's piece. It's like, I'm glad that I now own such a beautiful piece of work. I can't get it back in its sleeve. Next, I received Better Oblivion Community Center. I have actually never listened to this album. I know that this is like the duet thing Phoebe Bridgers did with that guy, I think. Again, I know nothing about, what's going on here, but the buyer bought me this knowing I love Phoebe Bridgers, so I know I'll love the album. And yeah, have nothing to say about that one yet, but I know I'll enjoy it. Next is Tears for Fears, Songs from the Big Chair. This is a classic album. This is a staple, I feel, in any vinyl collection. I feel like it goes along with like Rumors and Dark Side of the Moon, like all those classics that every vinyl collection has. I feel like this one is kind of getting up into that area of popularity. But my favorite song is obviously Everybody Wants to Rule the World, or Head Over Heels. But yeah, everyone knows it. It's great. I don't even have to talk it up. But lastly, we have Peripheral Vision by Turnover. This album, someone recently showed me this album, listened to it, absolutely fell in love. It is such a great and underrated album. It's amazing. The disc, it's very funny because the album cover is very very neutrally colored and like kind of relaxing. And then the actual disc is whack. I opened it and I was like, that's not very burnt orange. It's very unnatural. But you know, it is what it is. I'm not complaining, I just think it's funny. It does not match the vibe of the music at all, but that's okay. But yeah, this is such a great, if you have not listened to this album, please do. Again, it's one of those albums where I have listened to it in full, so I don't know what each song is called basically. But the ones I do know and that are definitely standouts are Humming and Take My Head. Those are the two like ones that pop out at me. So really awesome album. Great music. And I say that about every album I have, but I just happen to have exquisite music. I apologize for disappearing for 2 months. You know, it is what it is. A, hope you find something new, hope you find something you like, and B, I hope you enjoyed the commentary. Hope you enjoyed. And maybe I'll see you in another 2 months.